These are the steps to creating a Tekla model by Rachel Collins. First, you will click on the Start button. And once you click on Start, click on Tekla Structures. From there, you will wait while Tekla is loading. Then you will select a role. For this example, we will be selecting Cast in Place. Click OK to open Tekla. This is what Tekla looks like once it is open. Select New Model. You need to name your model and select where you would like to save your model. I named our model Tekla Final Project and I am saving it to my desktop. Click OK. This is what the model looks like once it is open. First, you'll be editing the grid. We'll be making it larger. To do that, you will have to select this button so that we can select and edit the grids. If you no longer want to be able to select the grids, you can select the button to the right. In order to change an object, you can double-click on the object, or you can right-click on the object and select Properties. A Properties box will appear for the grid. Here is where you can edit the properties of the grid. Every object has its own Properties box where you can edit the object. We will be expanding the X and Y coordinates. Select Modify and then select Close. This is the expanded grid system. Before we get into the modeling, I will go over some basic navigation first. Use the center scroll on the mouse button to zoom in and out. Hold down the center scroll button and move the mouse to move the model in all directions. Hold down the center scroll button, the control button on the keyboard, and move the mouse to rotate the model in all directions. Now to start modeling. We will start by creating the pad footings. Select the Create Pad Footings button. Click where you would like to place your pad footings. I will be spacing them out around the model. Sometimes it is easier to create your model from different views. To select these views, select Create View of Model and Along Grid Lines. This is the box that will appear. Select Create. This Views box will appear. Scroll down and select the view you would like. In this case, we'll be using Plan plus 0. Select the top arrow pointing to the right to move your desired view into the Visible Views column. You can already see the new view. Select OK. You can see and work on both of the views at the same time. To do this, select Window and then select Tile vertically. Now you can see and work on both views at once. Since you've created all of your pad footings, now you will create your strip footings by selecting Create Strip Footings button. You create the strip footings by picking the points you want the footings to go through and then pressing the middle button to finish. You can see the creation of the strip footings in both of the views above. As you can see, the strip footing intersects with the pad footings. This is a problem if you want this model to be accurate and to be able to use it for things like quantity takeoffs. To fix this problem, you can select Cut with another part. First, select the object you want to cut, and then select the part to cut it. You can see I already cut the strip footings along grid 17, and I'm about to cut the strip footing along grid A. You need to reinforce the pad and strip footings. To reinforce the pad footings, you will use Create Reinforcement Mesh. You select the object you want to reinforce, select all the sides, press the middle mouse button, and then select the direction of the longitudinal bars. You now see the reinforcement mesh and the pad footing. Repeat this for all pad footings. You also need to reinforce the strip footings. Use Create Reinforcing Bar Group. Using Create Reinforcing Bar Group is similar to using Create Reinforcing Mesh. You select the object you want to reinforce, select all the sides, press the middle mouse button, and then select the direction of the bars. As we progress into the creation of the model, there are several ways to change how the objects in the model are seen. Press Ctrl and then 1 for this view. Press Ctrl and then 2 for this view. Press Ctrl and then 3 for this view. Press Ctrl and then 4 for this view. Press Ctrl and then 5 for this view. The next step is to create the slab for level 1. To do this, select Create Concrete Slab. To create the concrete slab, select all the corners and then press the middle mouse button. As you can see, the concrete slab is not placed properly in relation to the footers. We will edit the properties of the concrete slab, and now you can see that it is sitting on top of the footings. You will need to reinforce the concrete slab. This is done the same way the footings were reinforced with the Create Reinforcement Mesh button on the top toolbar. Since reinforcing the concrete slab is so similar to reinforcing the footings, we will not show it again here. The next step is to create the exterior and interior walls. We are creating them using Create Concrete Panel button. To create the walls, select the corners and then press the middle mouse button. Next, we'll create a column. We will use Create Concrete Column button. Select the location where you want the column and the column will be created. As you can see in this example, the column is 20 feet tall and is much taller than the walls. Double-click on the column to view its properties. In the Properties box, click on the Position tab under Levels in the box next to Top. Change the value from 20 feet to 10 feet, click Modify, and then click OK. You will see that the column is now the same height as the walls. Next, we will create a steel beam support by using Create Beam. Create the steel beam by selecting its start and end points, and then using the middle mouse button to finish creating the steel beam. Now we will create doors. Use Add Points on Line to help create equal spacing for the door. Double-click on Add Points on Line to get the Divided Line Points box. In the Divided Line Points box, the default is 1. We will change it to 3 and then click OK. To create the 3 points, select the start point and the end point. Tekla will create 3 equally spaced points between the start and end point. Using the Cut Polygon button on the top toolbar, select the shape of the door using the help of the equally spaced points. This is the cutout to create the door. Here is the completed door. Now to create the interior and exterior concrete walls for the second floor. This is done in the same way as creating interior and exterior concrete walls for the first floor by using the Create Concrete Panel button. Again, use the Create Concrete Panel button to create the exterior concrete walls for the third floor. Similar to the steel beam on the first floor, use Create Steel Beam to create the steel beams for the third floor. Use Create Contour Plate to create the roof of the model. Select the corners of the roof and use the middle mouse button to finish creating the roof. Edit the properties of the roof to make sure that it sits on top of the walls, similar to how we edited the properties of the concrete slab to make sure it sat on top of the footing.